RingGangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Pat Scorpion, the New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do is LB Lauderdale Boss, aka Shuttleworth the God, the GOAT artist, Soul Wars creator, RingGangRadio.com in the building. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Ringing in the house forever and always. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
What up, y'all? You know who this is. Your boy King P, Bodega Boxing in the building. Ring Gang Radio forever. Let's get it.
Hey, Bodega P, straight from the sewer, you know. And he doesn't have a day off tonight, you know, so he's busy, you know, fighting all types of crime, from ninjas and mutated animals and all, and you know, niggas that wear, you know, metal and foil all over their bodies and shit.
I've been giving all the Putty Patrol the uppercuts today. I'm giving them Charlo uppercuts today.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. As always, we salute you for your service, man, keeping our cities and the streets safe, you know, for all the children. Oh man, though. But yeah, no, tonight though, you know, we will do a preview of Fight for Top Rank. But before we get in, but that will be later. But what we do want to get into tonight is an interesting poll topic that was posted this afternoon for us that has gotten a lot of interaction, a lot of engagement, surprisingly, for us. You know, it happens once in a while. Like, you know, sometimes we have, for YouTube, we have the 50 Cent one where we've gotten at least probably a 800% increase, you know, views and stuff of that video. Or for our Instagram, we have Eubank sending Yodrum to the bushes that got all types of attention. And again, I don't know why. You know,
yeah, should just be crazy. We've had Twitter polls with damn Hall of Fame legends, you know, will participate, and it's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But when it's about seeing who disappointed you the most, it's like everybody came out the woodworks. Like, hold on, wait. Yeah. This nigga fucked up my order. He was late to my house for the Comcast appointment.
I'm saying, like, I mean, some of them even replied back in a different language. How they go use the Google Translate?
Same here. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I was like, damn, like, motherfucker, and you know, we even got some balls out of it too. I'm just even taking a look now. I was like, you know, people really had something to say about this. Like, this is nuts to me.
Like, tell them why you mad, son.
Yeah, I'm saying.
We was Paul Wall today. Got the internet going nuts.
Yeah, for real.
Exactly, you know. And this shit was posted up. Was it like almost 6 hours ago? And we're at 235 votes with 6 days left. You know, and our poll topic was, which of these fighters do you consider the biggest disappointment? You know, the four choices were Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Amir Khan, Victor Ortiz, and Adrien Broner. You know, and like I said, I mean, P, you know, he be killing these polls, man, or you know, LB will give him the inspiration to tell P to, you know, to post these, you know, post stuff on there, and he be killing them. But this one just seems to be touching people. Like, some of them is just like, you know, well, yeah, no, this fight is disappointing because X, Y, Z, or this one is disappointing because of A, B, C, and then some of it is like K, me no gusto, whatever, Broner, some shit like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just the engagement was just crazy. So I was like, yeah, we gotta talk about this. So yeah, biggest disappointments, man. So LB, I'll start with you, man. Out of the four choices, man, who do you think was the actual biggest disappointment?
I mean, well, first let's define disappointment. First of all,
okay.
Disappointment is like, I kind of look at it through the lens of somebody who has the talent, the attributes, and they kind of have like the hype, but they also kind of have the team behind them as well. It's like the whole presentation. Like, I'm looking at it like, you know, like a rapper or a musician, you know, somebody who always got good beats, got good features. You know, he was always on other people's videos, like, you know, the whole treatment. Someone who, so when to relate that to boxing, somebody who who had, you know, speed, the power, all the, you know, the shit that we like to see, you know, young, you know, seemed hungry, you know, had the hype, you know, had the following, you know. When I look at all of that, and when I see who had the most of that but couldn't deliver, has to be Chavez Jr. Easily the biggest disappointment out of that whole list.
See, with Chavez
That's
Jr.,
who I voted for.
I agree. I think Chavez has, and it's just the whole thing of he has everything that LB said. It's, you know, the hype, the Chavez, you know, the name, you know, the being the son of who is many considered by most the greatest Mexican fighter ever. You know what I'm saying? He has this team behind him, and every fight, it's always something between the fights, the fuckery, all of that. He just can never put it together. The DLC has not finished uploading for 6 years already, and he just keeps getting he keeps getting chances. If he didn't get as many chances, I don't think we would consider him as disappointing. The fact that he gets chances over and over and over is just disappointing.
Now, but hold on, but people might say, oh, well, you know, he doesn't match up as high as the others in the talent category. Okay, that may be true, but we can't sit here and say that during his high moments, he didn't look like he was talented and he had all his pieces together.
Well, in that case, that was a rarity, dude.
Yeah, bro, beat the shit out of...
Dude, like, Andy Lee fight.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he beat the shit out of Andy Lee.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, that and then the 12th round of this Martinez fight are basically this dude's highlights in his career. Like, the Andy Lee fight is so much of, you know, it's like an aberration in his career because he doesn't have too many...
Hold on, the Sebastian Zabit fight was good, too.
Yeah, but I thought he lost that fight.
But Pat, but the Andy Lee fight was what really got people hyped on him. Like, it made it like people's legitimate, like, so it legitimized him. So aberration or not, it still helped legitimize him, which eventually led down to the point that we're at now.
Listen, yeah, no, but the thing is, I mean, the story with Chavez Jr. didn't start there. Like, I mean, dude has been fighting since like 2003. Like, dude debuted at 130, bro. Like, I mean, his father was still fighting, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, I mean, dude, I mean, like I said, I mean, first of all, it's just the fuckery. I mean, obviously, dude was on the shit. Like, I mean, he got popped for it before, you know, because he as tall as he is, you know, he debuts at 130. Dude has an against Carlos Molina, which he should have lost. He rematched him, to his credit, and I still thought he lost, but they gave it to him. He had the Matt Banda fight, which he probably should have lost. He rematched him immediately. And this is probably one of the few positive things I'll say about him. He rematched it, and he won that fight. I understand that. I mean,
but he beat Brian very clean.
Yeah. I was going to say.
The second time around, not the first time.
Yeah, the second time.
Yeah, but the second time, he beat him clean. I thought he won all his rematches, legitimately.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought only the verify. Well, the verify I thought he won, and that's because he was weight bullying like crazy. Like he low-key ruined Vera in that fight. There's no question about that. You know, but everything about him was just like fuckery with him. Like, between that and the shit he used to cut all that weight, and then, you know, and then of course how he got his belt is like nuts. Like basically, Sergio was the legit middleweight champion of the world. The WBC, you know, the head of Jose Sulaiman was his godfather. So they're like, yeah, we got to get a belt on this guy. You know, so Zibic was supposed to be Martinez mandatory. They said, no, he's not your mandatory anymore. So Martinez had to fight somebody else or get stripped. They stripped him. So Zibic was made the mandatory for Chavez Jr., and Chavez Jr. barely won that fight. Like, he probably didn't win that fight. So that's how he got his belt. So, like, literally so that's the thing. Like, his talent never showed to the point where, you know, somebody was not helping or he wasn't doing something to gain an advantage. So that's why it's like, you know, that's why I can't.
I said the talent ranked low compared to the others, but he had everything else, like, on the higher level than everybody else. It's like, if you compare them all as rappers or singers, whatever, like, he may not have had the best, you know, vocal talent, but he had the best studio label, record company management.
Yeah,
man, like niggas with less talent succeed every day. B.
See, and that's the thing too. So it's like, you give somebody whose talent is average or a little above average, but you give them a 10s and 8, 9s, and 10s in every other category. It's like you supposed to, pull away and elevate.
And he never did, but
Thus him being the most disappointing.
However, no, but in my case, no, because I never thought he was that talented to begin with. He had glimpses of it, but it wasn't like, my choice was Victor Ortiz.
Because it took him forever to damn fight him at his real weight class.
Yeah. When he fought him at his real class, he promptly got knocked out, or he would have gotten knocked out.
That's what fucked up his whole body weight and everything, because they were squeezing this kid to be fighting at welterweight and all types of other bullshit. Remember, they was hyping up the John Duddy fight.
Yeah.
Lord.
Look how long ago that name was. Like.
Yeah, that and the Rubio fight too, and he didn't look that great in that fight either. So it's just like, dude. Without the Andy Lee fight, dude's performances are not really there. Like in terms of because he's not an exciting fighter like that. So Andy Lee was just that's why I consider it an aberration, because Andy Lee was still something of a name. It was still something of a contender. So it's just like after the.
Quillen got a draw with Andy Lee, bruh.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say the fuck.
Yeah, well, Quillen is I'm not gonna get into Quillen because.
And I thought Lee beat Quillen, if we're being completely.
Me too. Honestly, me too. I thought Andy Lee beat Quillen. Like, I'm just being real.
He probably should have.
But let me tell you one thing. I'll end it with this. It's fucking. He not only he disappointed this fucking Chavez name to the point where fucking Chavez shaking his head gift is a fucking thing now. Like, if that doesn't reek of disappointment, I don't know what the fuck does.
Yeah, because the worst of Chavez, because his father puts more effort into his exhibitions than Chavez Jr. puts in his fight. Like, pretty much once he got KO'd, by Fonfara, everything went downhill. Everything because unfortunately for him, he's a draw. Like, he's a draw because simply he has the name. Like, so.
Don't forget, motherfucker won rounds off of Jacobs, and it had niggas hype thinking, ooh, Chavez back, DLC uploading again. Like, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can't say that there's no type of disappointment. If there was no disappointment, then niggas wouldn't be so hyped.
Well, let's say it depends. Like, if I thought Chavez was an actual talent, to go, and then I'd be like, okay, I can agree with that. But I thought Ortiz was talented, but he got in his own way, and no one was helping him. That's the problem. Like, Ortiz basically had his day in the sun.
What? What do you mean nobody was helping him? Because nigga was being pushed by Golden Boy. Wasn't he?
No one was helping that dude. Like, every time he was about to win, it was either he'd give up, or with it.
That's his fault. The fuck, but he was given chances.
He was maybe not as many chances as Chavez Jr., but he was given a lot of chances. Honestly, if you rank them, it should be damn Chavez Jr., Ortiz, then Broner to Khan is like a tie, really.
No, like I said,
or
Broner's third.
Because the only thing is because I think Chavez's title was manufactured. I don't think Ortiz was what. Ortiz won his belt legit, and he took Roberto 0, which is better than pretty much anything that Chavez has actually done. But for Ortiz, it's always been like performance. Even the fights where let's say the Peterson fight, it was a draw. I was like, he should have beaten Lamont Peterson. McDonald, he had Maidana in trouble. He should have won that. It's like he quit. Like, it's just like. Collazo was, had better days. He should have never been taken out by him in 2.
Josecito?
Josecito legit broke his jaw, so I'll cut him some slack for that one.
Yeah, but he was much naturally bigger than Josecito. Had the hype, more talent than Josecito.
If he would have beat Josecito, he would have gotten the Canelo fight.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and then the rematch
was still giving him a chance. Like, look, beat Jose Cito Lopez. Like, I mean, remember Jesse Vargas beat Jose Cito Lopez, or at least had a close enough fight where he got the nod.
Yeah, and then of course the Berto rematch. Of all things, now that fight should have buried Berto. Instead, that gave him new life. And then and it was so bad that people were throwing fucking coolers at him at the end of that fight. Like, I was like, for all his physical talent, he's a head case. Like Chavez is a different type of head case, but he's not a talented one to me. Ortiz was one that Ortiz's career should have been better. Like he had the physical talent to be better. He should, but something went horribly wrong with him.
He had no heart. It's like he didn't have the fucking damn heart, bruh. You can't teach that to somebody. He has no pride. I felt like Chavez had more pride than Ortiz had, but then eventually he lost it. Whereas Ortiz he started out at like 10% and it just went down, where Chavez started at like 30% and it went down. No, look at the performances. You just named them, like.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I mean,
is Ortiz really all that like talented like that? I mean, he was a hard hitting.
He was, when he was
quick southpaw. Like,
when he was,
we got a lot of those in boxing.
I mean, when he was on though. Like, there wasn't anything about dude that was like, okay, he got a gift. Like, when he lost.
I thought AB was more talented than him.
Who?
AB.
Oh,
I definitely would put Broner above Ortiz in talent department. To me, honestly, he was the most talented on the list.
The problem with Broner, and this is why everyone, was his discipline. Like, it showed at 130. Like, he showed that he wasn't disciplined. People were like, Bandcamp, about billions. I'm like, dude is really a discipline. Like, this is like.
Now he ain't showed that the discipline ain't really coming to 147. Remember, he left 135 because nobody wanted to fight him.
Well, he left. Well, he got stripped of his 130 belt because he was eating ice cream before the weigh-in and blew.
That's 130. I'm talking about 130. Like he all that was forgotten at once he beat the shit out of DeMarco.
Yeah, no, but his discipline did not start at it started at 130 because he blew weight on purpose. That's discipline issues.
Okay, you got me. That one instance in damn 130. I think who's the fight? I can't remember the name. Was it Escobedo or?
No. He. Let's do a quick check. It was Perez. Oh no, excuse me. No, it wasn't Escobedo. No, it was Escobedo. Yeah, you're right.
It was Escobedo. Okay, niggas.
Yeah. Because he blew weight in there, and when you lose, and he purposely did. It wasn't like he was struggling. He said, "Fuck it," I'm not gonna make this shit, and they still gave him the fight anyways, but he stripped. And then, yes,
that's one opportunity, but he still got stripped.
Yeah, and then of course, he had his couple fights at lightweight, and then he jumped to beat Paulie, in a fight everyone thought was closer than close, See,
that's what I'm saying. The discipline really became a problem because that's when you started seeing him really overweight. The music started picking up. He's touring. He's with T.I. and all the rap niggas and shit.
Yeah, and
he has a gut eating, chili cheese fries and shit. Like,
and then
he was still hungry at 130.
Yeah, and in contrast to Maidana, when he first took that picture, Maidana already looked like he was in shape, and then Broner was looking at bloated and shit. But then the thing you can do when you're young, you can run that shit off, but you're not supposed to do that because he kept taking the weight off, and then it showed in the Maidana fight. Maidana gave him a beating, and then after that, I don't think he ever really regained any of his form because he became very, he became highly defensive. I'll say that. And
I believe so more when he fought a guy on his talent level or his skill level. That's when he got over defensive. Like when somebody was when he was better than somebody, he let his hands go a little more. Like you seen it with the Emmanuel Taylor fight. You seen it with the which I thought the Taylor fight was the last real glimpse of real Broner.
Well, I mean, I thought the Taylor fight was close. It was close until he broke it wide open. So I was like, Taylor was hanging with dude.
Yeah, he was. That was a damn good fight. The ring walk, the young thug, all of that shit was just shit. Like,
but then the worst thing though, after that fight, he fought John Molina. And John Molina had already been put through the ringer. And then this should have been a knockout win. Instead, he goes the distance with dude.
I mean, he 12-0'd him, right? You said that's so bad, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, let's keep it real now. Like,
I mean, he didn't knock him down. He didn't do nothing. I mean, Pistol,
he blanked him.
He didn't have to be blanked him.
He blanked him.
I'm okay with that.
That wasn't.
It was just a boring ass fight, but he blanked them.
I mean, that show
every blink is not the same.
I mean, that show almost killed PBC on the spot.
No, let's not fucking exaggerate now.
It was a buzzkill. I ain't gonna, but I don't think saying they almost killed him on the spot is a bit much.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he almost killed it on the spot, then we got Lucky Thurman revived it afterward. But
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. And then after that, it's the Porter fight, and then Porter was. I mean, that was a struggle fight and a half. And he just,
But just like Chavez or anybody else that, is one of these disappointing niggas, they always show some glimpse when they need it the most to keep you believing in them. And he knocks Porter down hard at the end.
And the fun thing too is there was a catchweight on this shit, and he was like, okay, if you meet me at this weight, Porter will fight. Porter made
145.
No, I think it was lower than that. No,
I thought it was 144 actually.
Something like that. 145, 144.
And then I think Broner wasn't going to make it or some shit like that. So there's like 144 it is or some shit like that. And then
they said he overtrained for that fight. Like he was at Floyd gym and going super hard or whatever.
Yeah. And then but yeah, like I said, what you said about the glimpse. Yeah, I mean he knocks Porter down for the first time. Like something he could have done earlier. And he did it with one punch. It was just like, okay, where was this for all those rounds? You can knock down Porter. Where was this? And then he took an L there, second L, and then he has a little bit of a then he goes back to 140. He has probably his last real good fight. The Khabib fight. Khabib, he beat the shit out of Khabib. That's for damn sure.
And remember, he beat Theo Payne later on too, where he beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, but the one that
I was just gonna say he beat the shit out of Theo Payne.
I know there's the haters out there that was like, well, he it was too competitive. That fight was not competitive.
No. The thing is, he blew weight and he lost his title on the scale. That's another discipline problem. So I was like, okay, yeah, this dude's wild on discipline. But yes, he did beat Theo Payne, and it was a little close, but he did beat.
It was no fucking a little close. Didn't he stop him?
Yeah, he stopped him in 9.
Then how was that a little close?
I mean,
that fight was not close at all. Like,
a couple of judges did have it close before the stoppage.
Who?
I don't know their name. Well, no,
Theo Payne is lucky to have won like 2 rounds in that fight.
I mean, I'm not a fucking judge.
I mean, what did you? How many rounds you had Theo Payne winning? Because you sound like you had that shit neck and neck.
I'd have to actually go back in that thread. I mean, it wasn't like it's not a fight I rewatched, bro. I know.
Remember, nigga, like, come on.
Yeah, no, I remember. I mean, it took him a while to get the stoppage, but he got the stoppage, and then he goes on this rant, and this was on Spike TV, and everyone was like, "Ooh, Floyd Broner, ooh." That could happen. Like I know what happened that night, but it's not a fight that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back and rewatch.
So you one of these TMZ niggas. You remember the interview, but not the fight.
Yeah, because it wasn't nothing. It wasn't much. The only thing I personally found about the fight is he got 2 million people on a Friday night to watch that shit on Spike. That's the only thing I found. That's when I knew that Broner was a legit draw. I was like,
see, this is the thing. It's like it always takes so long for Pat to legitimize people. It took the Theo Payne fight for you to realize Broner was a draw.
Like a legit draw. And then afterwards...
P, are you hearing this nigga? Like, I'm not the only one here. Like, bruh.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell Pat's talking about.
Keep in mind, I kept it jiggy about Broner for I'm not a Broner fan. I've never been one. So it's like,
I mean, I'm a Broner fan, but I'm not gonna sit here and I don't make excuses for dude, and I'm not gonna sit here and underrate certain shit he did. You know, I'm not gonna say, yo, he was a legit star. You know, but by the time the Theo Payne fight, like, what?
you know, I mean, that was that impressed me more. I was like, I mean, okay, so he's a draw there, and then you know the draw gets him some certain fights. I mean, the Granados fight, I thought he lost that fight. I mean, there's no way in hell I thought he won that damn fight.
Yeah, I thought he won a close one.
Yeah, he looked, and then the Mikey Garcia fight, everyone was pissed about this one. I think this was the one.
I think that's when people really started turning on him, because at that point I was like, yeah.
Because he let Mikey pretty much outwork him, but every time that he actually landed, Mikey was bothered, but then he would never follow up with anything.
Because he didn't like what was coming back at him, and that goes back to the whole talent and skill shit I said about Broner. Like, he got to a point where if somebody was on his level, that he felt was on his level, it's like the fire would disappear, the whole urgency to hurt the guy, you know, wavered. You know, he wouldn't fire back. A guy like Taylor, who is, you know, I would say easily a level or two below Broner, was damn near putting his foot in Broner ass, and Broner was still firing back and like, hold on, you defiant peasant, like da 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 da, like.
You know, but I mean, and then
that shit wasn't found for Mikey.
Yeah, but with Mikey though, I mean, losing to Mikey is one thing, but damn near almost losing to Jesse Vargas is another thing. This is where I think, okay, everyone, because I mean, pretty much half the fight, dude was getting outworked by Jesse Vargas, and Jesse Vargas was landing on dude. You know, Broner woke up in time to make it close.
I think I had fucking Vargas beating Broner by a round. I gotta watch that fight again.
It was a close fight. I've seen the fight twice. I could respect the draw. I literally felt like no one pulled away. Like, Vargas did good the first 6 rounds, and then Broner did better than.
I mean, to be fair, Broner shouldn't be going the distance, going a draw with fucking Jesse Vargas.
Yeah,
you know?
and
he was supposed to win that, and especially when Broner hurt him like a couple times late in the fight, and it's like he still kind of held his hands back. So that's what I knew. I was like, damn, Broner really thinks Jesse Vargas is on his level then.
Yeah. And then everyone else is like, oh, I mean, people. I mean, there were still Broner fans. I mean, Broner still has a fan base, but people was like, this is where it's like Broner's just like a jobber now. You know, if he can't beat Jesse Vargas, you know, and not like Jesse.
I mean, it was a good fight. So but it just it was a fight he was supposed to pull away from. Like,
right.
Even if it was a damn 116, 112. Hell, I'd take a 115, 113 if it's clean.
Yeah. But
it's like you up here having 114, man. Like,
yeah,
that was ridiculous.
Yeah,
that
was. And then, you know, the Pacquiao fight is just pretty much. I mean, we all know what happened in that fight.
Yeah, well, this for the hood. I beat him. Like,
yeah.
But I mean, honestly, what was just funny because I watched the Vlad TV interview with Broner, and like he walked that back and was like, well. No, I'm not saying I beat him. Like, he changed his tune. He's like, I'm not saying I beat him, but you did say you beat him. You was telling everybody you beat him. Well, I ain't saying I beat him, but it wasn't he wasn't whipping my ass like that. You know, half the shots missed. You know what I'm saying? Then he fought Keith Thurman, and he cooked Keith Thurman. He destroyed him. I'm like, nigga, fuck out of here.
Well, he destroyed you and went life and death with Thurman. Fuck out of here. That Pacquiao left that hit him into the ropes kind of landed too hard, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, get some, some lasting damage.
And the funny thing too with Broner is like, I mean, Broner right now should be still in his actual prime, but we don't even know what that is now for him. It's just like, I mean, he's a draw, so obviously like everyone in that weight class fights him, and
he's fighting. He's supposed to come back next year, January, to fight fucking Red Cash.
Yeah, I mean,
so we'll see what's left of him. And I have it on good authority from people in the know that fight was supposed to happen. Remember that fight was supposed to happen, and he fucking like the first day of training camp, he just no-showed, like completely no-show. That's when I'm like, you know, that's when like Broner's a fuck up, like a disappointment. Nigga just blew his fucking played hooky.
He's definitely a disappointment when you look at the talent and shit he had, but he still have won 4 titles in 4 divisions.
Right. You know, and then Amir Khan,
Well, the thing with Broner's resume, and I do understand what you're saying with that, how his resume looks better than everybody else's, but like then the issue with Broner and why people could think he's a disappointment is his resume does look good on surface level, but then
it starts out good.
but like his level is like, if you were just look at his resume and don't really know anything about boxing like that on a surface level, especially with him winning a title in 4 divisions. You know what I'm saying? It looks good, but then when you dig deeper and you see the vacant titles and all this, and just like, it just. Now, as for Amir Khan, I'm surprised people didn't think that he was a disappointment. I'm like, he had a lot of hype coming in, especially as a gold medalist and all.
I mean, Khan's career played out in different phases. Like he came, I mean, when he first came on the scene, like everyone knew he was fast, but he was chinny, and you know. I mean,
his hype got derailed the earliest out of the whole list.
Breeders Prescott, shout out to Breeders Prescott,
and he never ran it back. So that's already a disappointment. So the one person that said Khan don't deserve to be on that list, you're wrong.
Yeah, but however though, after that Prescott, he did go on a run. Like he pretty much took out relevant.
Khan will go on a run, and then he'll go on an getting his ass kicked run too.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, this was his best one because he had the Katelnik fight. He whooped him. Salita fight. He took Salita 0. Paulie, he put hands on Paulie. He won a war against Maidana. He knocked out Zab Judah. Like he had a run all the way up to the Lamont Peterson fight. And truthfully, he probably could have won that fight too. But
I actually thought he won the Peterson.
Hold on, wait. All the way up to the Danny Garcia fight.
No, Peterson was before Garcia. I'm saying.
Yeah, I thought he beat Peterson.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, that fight was in DC, and I watched that fight too because there was.
Hold on, wait. Y'all, wait. Damn, my timing off. Damn, I thought he fought Swift before Peterson.
Nah. He fought Peterson before Swift.
Yeah.
Damn, he did and lost.
Yes.
Yeah, he lost a split decision. Yeah. And like,
I thought he lost that shit though.
Yeah, I thought he beat him, but I kind of thought he lost against fucking Julio Diaz.
Yeah.
Oh wow, to me that fight could have went either way, really.
Yeah, but the Danny Garcia one, that was the fight where, I mean, surprisingly, the official scorecards, all of them, they were even before the knockout. You know, I mean, depending on, you know,
because you know, let everybody tell it, you know, but Khan was whipping his ass before Danny hit him with a lucky punch.
Yeah, well, probably, yeah. I mean,
see, that's what I'm saying. Like he went on a 2-loss run. Like he was doing good, and then boom.
Yeah,
he gets hands put on by Peterson. He looks like a damn wounded gazelle running around.
Yeah,
running around the ring, getting hit and shit from a person that he dropped like what, twice.
And then this is
so the optics don't even look good on that Khan Peterson fight.
And this is where I think
and he's still the favorite going into the Garcia fight, bro.
And like, but those 2 losses, this is where Khan actually went into, probably started chasing the bag. You know, where, you know, because this is the time that, you know, he was obsessed with trying to get a Floyd fight. So he was avoiding the fights that would probably get him there, like the Devin Alexander fight. Like Devin gave him a shot at his belt, he wouldn't take it. You know, and then, you know, that went to Sean Porter, and, you know, we saw what happened with that. You know, so, and then, you know, he fights Julio Diaz, like P said, and he went life and death.
Remember, he fought Carlos Molina first.
Yeah, but he
boring ass fight.
Yeah, it's fine. He stopped him at least, but it wasn't a fight. I'm like, no. It was. He stopped him. That was just pretty much about it.
And then he fucking he plays it safe again, going against Julio Diaz. Yeah, and you know he
almost fumbled the damn bag on that one.
Yeah, because he got dropped hard and hurt late in the fight, and Diaz is winning rounds. So
yeah. But then, like I said, he wouldn't face Devin Alexander when Devin was welterweight champion, and went.
Oh, but he beat Collazo first, though.
Yeah, you know, he beat, and this is probably he beat the shit out of Collazo. Like, this is one of Collazo's real true blue losses. Like, there was nothing like Collazo was not in this fight. Like, it probably should have been stopped. You know, and then finally,
I don't think he beat him that bad.
I mean, 119, 104 on 2 of the cards. I mean, that's almost close to like the.
Nah, he beat him pretty good. Like he dropped.
Yeah, he did, but
he cruised
to one of those like almost it needed to be stopped. Hell nah.
Yeah, like, it didn't need to be stopped because Collazo was walking forward, because still coming.
Yeah, Collazo just had a bad game plan. He was literally walking forward with his hands down against a speedster like Khan. Come on.
No, I mean, he got dropped pretty good late in the fight, like a couple times.
I mean, I ain't gonna stop him for stupidity. Like, I mean, Khan put hands on him. Don't get me wrong, Khan beat his ass, but you know.
Yeah, and then Khan really put hands on Devin Alexander, and that was one that's like, you could have beaten him, you could have took his belt away, you could have probably gotten the Floyd fight because he put hands on Devin Alexander, like he whooped him, like and. You're like thinking like, where was this? Like, he could have.
That was like the cleanest loss Alexander ever had to me.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course the Algieri fight, and then
that's where it fucking started turning around because Chris Algieri moved up, walked him down, and beat his ass.
Yeah, and I remember I was in Vegas. I put money on this fight too. I was like, I put money on Algieri because if I had won the Algieri. If I gotten that Algieri payday, it would have paid for my whole Vegas vacation and then some too.
I actually didn't think that Khan lost, but I could see why people thought he lost.
Well, it wasn't good that Algieri, rocked him like early.
Yeah, because he had him looking like Bambi on ice on like 4 different occasions.
Rocked him and hurt him repeatedly and had him running. Like, it's one thing, like, at least with Lamont Peterson, we know Lamont Peterson's a pressure guy. He could punch some. He comes at you, he could box. When he walks you down, like pretty much any you're in for a fight once Lamont Peterson walks you down. So we don't grade that. And then some people still thought Khan won, but the fight was still too close for Khan to come out so strong early. And then at the end of the fight, he's running like that one rapper from Lil Uzi.
I mean, because Khan is a 4-round fighter, a 5-round fighter. He's like a lower class version of like Pascal, like. But
this is the thing. It's like you coming off the Zab win, which was big, bruh.
Yeah, big.
So it's like that's the thing with Khan. Like he's too hot and cold, man. He'll go on a good run, then he'll be a cold run, good run, cold run, until finally it just caught up with Chris Algieri. And he couldn't come back from that shit. He got his ass whooped. He got the fucking fight though. He never gets the Pac fight or the Floyd fight. He gets Canelo, gets bodied brutally.
Yeah,
stupid ass. Yeah, that was a stupid ass decision.
Yeah, no, yeah. This is where
because he ain't want to fight Brook, and Canelo ain't want to fight Triple G. So we got that bullshit.
Yeah, I mean,
niggas wanted to one up each other.
Yeah, this is when I.
Well, I'll fight the guy that your guy's ducking.
I mean, this is when I say like Khan was actually chasing the bag at this point. Like that's why he probably took the Canelo fight, among other things.
He chased the bag all the way from the damn Carlos Molina. Well, after he lost to Danny Garcia, he was chasing the bag.
Yeah.
Some of it was a rebuilding process.
How you chase a bag off a KO loss, like.
Khan.
But look at it. But look at the record though. He went from Carlos Molina to Julio Diaz to Luis Collazo. Bruh.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
I mean, Collazo was the only guy looked at as like a kind of a threat to him. Molina wasn't a threat. Julio Diaz was a nigga that was supposed to just give him rounds.
Yeah, because Diaz has a worse chin. Yeah, Diaz has a worse chin than Khan.
Remember Diaz was at 135. Like Kendall Holt already wrecked him, and then Julio Diaz is damn dribbling Khan around the UK. Come on.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but yeah,
he definitely was chasing the bag after the Swift loss.
Yeah, but after the Canelo fight, it's just pretty much Phil Greco, like, ooh, they were hyping it like, ooh, he knocked out a jobber on one, and then the Samuel Vargas fight,
back to struggling again.
Back to struggling in a fight he shouldn't be struggling in. I mean, he won on the card, but just the fact that he got dropped
and hurt, more than once.
Yeah. And then
somebody over in Top Rank thought that was a good opponent for Crawford. So
get into that was his that was his Pendleton fight.
Silly.
Got him.
Dumbasses, yo. And then of course after that we have the Billy Dib fight, which is his last. The Billy is such an atrocity. It's not you can't even. He forced a featherweight to fight almost 20 pounds above his natural weight.
He must have thought he was Canelo after he got knocked out by him. So I mean, hey.
However,
I mean, fuck Billy Dib, so I don't really care about it.
However, though, because it was in Saudi Arabia, and we all know Saudi Arabia, they pay money for entertainment, so that's most likely why that farce of a fight.
Yeah, this is one of those Spartacus exhibitions. Like you're like, fuck it.
Yeah, and
one-armed slave versus 2 Roman legionnaires. Like that's the type of shit that was on. So
and most likely he probably earned more money in that fight than in any other fight in his career too, because they gave him a bag for that one. They gave him a stupid bag.
Oh, so that was the Floyd Pacquiao fight rolled in one.
Pretty much. So it's like, yeah, Khan's career. Like, I mean, Khan had a streak, but it's just like in the end, when them losses started, creeping up, he was like, you know what? Let me get this money and try and see if I can try to get a Floyd fight without fighting minimal risk as possible. And he basically never fought the right fights at the right time.
And that was a disappointment because, after the damn Devin Alexander fight, he should have really been trying to make one of those the Floyd fight. Mm-hmm. But then he fought Devin Alexander at the wrong time. So
exactly.
And then by then Devin Alexander already had a couple losses.
Exactly.
So it's I definitely agree with that. So, he lost, like his losses really look bad. Wins are good. He's probably overall he probably has the best resume out of the whole list, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because dude, like I say, when he was on here, that Paulie fight, I love seeing him put hands on Paulie too. Like,
of course you do. Now looking back at it, I do too. So,
that's not my favorite Paulie beatdown. Like, I never rewatched that fight. I always felt like Hatton, really beat Paulie's ass because he was hitting dude with like haymakers, like right hooks and like big punches. Like all Khan did to me was just kind of 1-2 him to death and like just. Just keep him at the distance and say, okay, 1-2, 1-2, yada yada yada. Like Hatton was damn swinging for the fences on this dude and landing.
Mm-hmm. No, I always watched rewatched the Cotto fight. The Paulie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Cotto fight was much better. Like as a competitor, as a fight. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because Paulie was still like prime, and Paulie got his face broken among others.
But Paulie didn't get blanked in that one with Hatton and Khan. It's like he got dominated. I think he won the first round against Hatton, and then after that, it was like downhill from there.
Yeah,
yeah, like dude, like Buddy McGirt stopped it. Like,
yeah, he had to. It was like
Paulie was all pissed and shit. But it's like, dude, who wants to see they person get damn hit with damn Ricky Hatton hooks after you was talking all this shit about you only could pull that shit off in the UK, you wrestled this, that, and then the man fights you just like you want him to fight you. And it was the Mexican style before Mexican style.
Yeah. And if I think about the whole biggest disappointment, 3 of them were operated in the same division at the same time. Obviously I know Khan versus Broner was always a fight that was always talked about, seeing they could try to make, And there was and of course there was the one pay-per-view that everyone was like, I think it was one of the Floyd Maidana pay-per-view, the first one, I think. Where people were like,
it was on the same card. Yeah. That's when Khan fought Molina.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, Khan and Broner on the same card. Like, this is like, no, it would be dope if they actually were fighting each other, not fighting, lesser fighters. Like,
career mode.
Yeah, like, that should have actually been the co-main. Like, there was literally no obstacles in the way for that fight. For that fight to not happen. Khan versus Broner would have been a great fight. Or even Ortiz and Khan could have been something. Ortiz and Broner, like these fights. You almost wish that they actually did happen. They all fought Maidana.
Battle for who the most disappointing.
Yeah, like I said, they all fought Maidana though. Those 3. So that's the thing. That's their common opponent.
And then they all struggled with him too. Just one guy got the win.
Yeah.
A bit barely, because Khan was hanging on at the end, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the funny thing is that Maidana gives Broner way more respect than he gives Khan.
Yeah.
Like,
Broner was tagging him toward the end of the fight. Like Broner, like went out like a G on that shit. Like he kind of stood his ground and finally.
Yeah, he said Broner was the strongest. He said Broner was the strongest and toughest guy he fought.
Yeah, I could believe.
But you said Ortiz,
like that was before, but after that, Broner wasn't the same.
Yeah, but then Maidana said Ortiz was the best puncher he ever fought because he put him down like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, that was a damn that's an underrated fight, Ortiz Maidana.
It is. And so is Khan Maidana. I mean, Khan is the only one who didn't go down against Maidana. Imagine the odds on that.
yeah, that's true. Nah, Khan Maidana was a good fight too, but it's not. It's talked about more than Ortiz Maidana, and Maidana Ortiz is more like a fight of the year that doesn't get talked about.
That's also true. I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah, because like Khan Maidana was a good fight where you're like, okay, yeah, back and forth action, a knockdown. But I mean, Ortiz Maidana was like Hamed Kelly type shit.
Yeah, it was like, and of course that fight put Maidana on the map too, because Ortiz was the prospect, and Maidana was brought in as the opponent, for that. So yeah, I mean, that whole era was so interesting with with those three, man. So it's like sad to see what they've actually regressed to, you gotta
make negative sounding ass polls, and everybody's like, oh my god, they're voting for this shit. Like, I don't know, like I want to see that love on some positive tweets and polls we be posting up.
Yeah, no, I mean, but I mean, it's good that people engage. Like, I mean, like I said, I mean, everyone has strong opinions on these 4, and that's good. Sometimes you need a stronger opinion. I mean, but I mean, as of right now,
fresh off a big boxing weekend too.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's good that there's more engagement on boxing topics rather than the fuckery. But I don't want to use like the whole guns and butter type of analogy, but it's nice to see.
Y'all kind of spread y'all energy to both sides, yin and yang. I mean, good and evil. I mean, the force, and I mean, like, those 500 people all vote for like who had the worst career or who's the most disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I mean, it's good that we do have a whole bunch of different answers. Some actually, Chavez. I mean, Chavez obviously is in the lead. Again, the numbers just change up Chavez. Some people think Broner, but Broner might be a different thing altogether. It's, most people.
Yeah, I do feel a lot of the Broner poll votes are maybe racialized.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Broner, but even I know Broner wasn't the biggest disappointment in that one. He's far from it.
I don't. And one thing I want to add too, I feel like there's a whole bunch of boxers that would if they could choose a career, they would choose Broner over a lot of people's boxing career.
Yeah, because like I said, Broner is like I said, I mean, he's a self-made draw. Like people. Even now, like Broner hasn't had a quality win in quite some time, but people will pay money to see this dude. Most fighters would dream for that type of notoriety,
especially on that list. Because when I look at it, like Chavez, he fucking disappointed. Like he quit too many times and had too many damn things in his favor for him to give up. So it's like I wouldn't want no career like that.
Yeah, I mean, basically,
Victor Ortiz, another head case, but just more annoying. Quit too many fucking times. It's like I don't know. I wouldn't want to have neither one of those guys' careers.
I mean, at least Victor got Dancing with the Stars and the fucking Expendables. Like,
he
did parlay that. I don't know what happened to his rape case though.
I think it's still ongoing because he hasn't fought in a minute.
I don't think anybody wants to see him fight. So
yeah, honestly, after the Berto fight, I think people were done with Ortiz. The second fight. Yeah, most people were.
He had a decent fight with damn Devin Alexander though too.
Yeah, everybody thought that
Alexander
lost. Beat him. Yeah, everybody thought Alexander beat him. He got the PBC draw.
Yeah. And there goes Victor Ortiz with another damn, that's what we talking about, opportunities.
Which honestly kind of got that fight had me tight because it got the PBC draw that didn't do anything for Victor Ortiz, but it kind of fucking sullied Alexander's comeback because Alexander was on the comeback trail, and then after that it was a draw. So now it's back to square one.
And then the Berto lost, the Berto robbery, and it's
that was fucking.
See, that's the thing. It's like they ruined one guy's career trying to hype up 2 other people's who weren't as good.
Exactly. I mean, Berto went on to face Porter after that, I believe. Was it after? Was it before? After that fight?
I think it was after. Like we ain't hear from Berto.
No. Berto was before Porter. Where the Berto fight was before.
The Devin fight was his last fight to date. But yeah, no, it was after. Okay, yeah, the Devin was Berto's last fight to date, and yeah, and like.
Okay, yeah. So.
And he should have lost that damn fight.
Some opportunities, man. So yeah, I definitely. So after talking about it, y'all still kind of agree with y'all answers, then, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, same here. Chavez Jr. and Ortiz as for Pat.
Yeah, like because if you're getting that many opportunities, regardless of how talented you are or talented you are not, you're getting that many opportunities means that somebody believes in you. So you have to disappoint somebody if they're believing in you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because they definitely started getting more opportunities where, Khan, he kind of fell back a little on his.
Now, Khan's opportunities became opportunities for other people to make a fucking highlight reel out of him.
Facts. And then it's like Pat said, like that really sums up his career. He took the wrong fights at the wrong time. Like, when it was time for him to go hard, he kind of fell back like, well, hold on, let me just stack up some wins. When it was time for him to stack up some wins, he's taking damn Canelo fights.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, like it's more his own doing, like on a management skill level, than the other guys just not delivering. Like, I don't know the fuck Chavez be thinking going through his head, and Victor Ortiz getting dropped by Collazo and just sitting there, him trying to fucking juggernaut headbutt Floyd. Like, and that's the thing, we even didn't even have to say nothing about the Floyd fight. This nigga, he fucked that up, so.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like we went easy on Ortiz.
Yeah, I mean, he had a pay-per-view spot right there, and it wasn't like he had the boxing ability to bother Floyd, but for some reason he just couldn't control himself.
Dude, he was low key. He was giving Floyd problems the round before the headbutt.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden he was like, "Okay, I'm sorry." And then who looks at the guy like you're supposed to kill?
Yeah, that was stupid. That was stupid.
Yeah.
I never felt bad for him.
Yeah.
Nope.
I
he deserved that. Floyd should hit his
him.
ass a third time if he would have caught him another time. Shit.
Yeah, Floyd shitted on him after the fight and before the fight. Cause didn't Floyd say something like, cause everybody was trying to use Ortiz like the whole gimmick of him being a bandit or like an orphan, like something like Floyd's like black folks. So yeah, black folks go through that all the time. Like nigga shitted on him.
Like, you ain't special, nigga. What the fuck?
Yeah, but
my pops is in prison. The fuck?
Yeah, but the thing that none of that banner was interesting because Ortiz, all he was doing was smiling and then and trying to get too close to Floyd, like be like uncomfortable.
Yeah, he was just caught up in the moment, like. Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and the funny thing too, because I remember too when he beat Berta, I was like, man, they need to have this dude sit on his title for a little bit because I think mentally he was ready for that shit. It's like they need to ease him into a big fight, but
nope, because now Floyd was sitting at that fight, so
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, and Floyd was definitely gonna fight him because I remember it was leaked the names on because when Floyd had his deal with HBO, he had a list of 6 people that HBO would have signed off on on the spot, definitely, and Ortiz was one of the names.
Yeah.
So you knew he was gonna get that fight.
Yeah, because he would have fought Berto if Berto would have won, but.
Berto was supposed to get a Floyd fight on so many other occasions, but that's a different story. I mean, when the Berto
we might have to have a part 2 of this poll later on.
Yeah.
Everybody fucked up their money, got fumbled the bag or bag undeservedly.
Yeah, I mean, Broner. Like I said, we don't. I don't know about Ortiz. Khan still probably makes something.
Khan fucked that up, but he kind of made up for it with the Crawford fight, getting $7 million from Crawford, which I heard. I have it on good authority that people were disappointed. People within Top Rank were disappointed at that fucking shit that they paid him that much. Because they essentially paid him $7 million because they thought Crawford would give him a highlight reel knockout, and it didn't happen. So that was basically a wasted payday.
Yeah,
that's why we ain't getting Monster and Casimiro and all these other good fights and shit. Yeah. Thanks, Khan. Thanks, Top Rank.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I don't even do. Yo, we spent enough time. It's been like what, almost an hour with these niggas. Like, yo, we could go on now.
Let's move on.
But for sure, there will be a part 2 on this because there are other fighters on here that you can consider a big disappointment. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, but might be Bajado, Ricardo Williams, Berto. I don't know. You know, we'll think of some people.
The sky's the limit. Boxing has a lot of skeletons in their closets in terms of fighters who disappointed. So so stay tuned for that.